Hello? Hello? Hey! Ah, legend prevails. I was unmuted. I was muted in the broadcast settings. What? Oh, thanks, Baldy. If only my driving was as lovely. Turn the phone down. Aye, aye, Captain. I had it up to try and listen to my voice coming through. I'll turn it down now. Echo, echo, echo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I turned it down, man. Come on. Man, it gets moist in this lobby, way worse than it got in Div 1 and Div 2. I got to get on to the setting things up now. I'm missing Dashi. Pretty bloody hot. I've got the aircon on like 40% and it's still bloody hot in here. Gonna have to crank it up some more, I think. Oh, hey, Dino! I don't know what to say to that. Has he seen my face? He might reconsider. I've got ducted. But I'm in the theatre room which gets the afternoon sun, so it cooks. Looks like Alba's had a spin there. $20 degrees, what? Currently 25, because, you know, Demiso, can't say that too loud or I'll get fucking roasted later. Get a smack. It's not allowed to be below 24, Mrs. Rules. $18, I wish I could put it on 18, bro. I'm not allowed, man. I'm not allowed to turn it down. Oh, come on, guys, stop ticking in. Got to do the second reset. Yeah, but we don't, the solar doesn't work for us at the hours that we're home. We're out at work. By the time we get home, the solar threshold no longer works. It's expired. Alright, let's set this grido. Put everything on. Well, that's true. We do have that option. Oh god, he's probably asleep. It's like 3:30 AM or something ridiculous his time. I don't even know why he agreed to do these races. We got Renegade Elba ticking. Yes, we do. We do need to do daylight savings. It's fucking... Oh no, I just ruined our money earning opportunity. That they don't do it here. Just swore on bloody stream. There goes our moolah. Our 5 cents. Dino, piston, nobody. He's already there. Baseman is 7th, yeah, Renegade is 8th. Bond is 9th. Heartstopper is 10th. Stiffy Bone is 11th. Tacax is 12th. Done. Looks pretty good. Beat Alba Chief. Dino, Piston, Body. Oh, she's gonna get moist, man. I feel sorry for these guys. The track stays wet for a lot of the race. I don't even know if there's gonna be much opportunity to put slicks on. From what I saw in practice. Yeah, the old MR cars, they should be pretty strong as usual. That's a question. What can Renegade do starting from 8th? Alright, get ready, Renegade. We're starting. Get off the bloody stream. It starts out pretty dry and then the rain comes in pretty heavy at about the 6 or 7 minute mark. And then she gonna get spicy. You better be ready, Renegade. I'm watching you. Anyway, let's go to the front and off we go. Beat starting from pole in the sluggish Supra in the wet. He's already got Alba right on him looking for a pass. Oh, look at Chief with a dive bomb down the inside, causing all sorts of mayhem in T1, but it looks like everyone's gotten through unscathed there. It's a bloody miracle. Well done, guys. Everyone has gotten through. Alba is quickly dropping down the field. He's, oh no, and he's copped a 0.5 second penalty already. Starting from second, Chief is absolutely shot to the front. Looks like everybody has started on the inters, which are going to get really spicy in a few minutes. Yep, everybody is on inters by the looks. Confirmed, so all 12 drivers are on the inters. And it looks like only Alba has the penalty so far, but he did look really strong in the wets. Expect him to come back through the field once the track gets really wet. But so far a really good start for Unchained Chief and pretty much the whole pack. I don't think anyone's really had any issues so far. It was the move of the season from Chief. The gap was there and he just sent it and he pulled it off. Absolute legend. I'm predicting that Chevy's going to become a handful as well once the rain starts bucketing down. Same as that Supra. That Supra will be an absolute dog in the heavy wet. I do remember Ridwan struggled in that Chevy in the wet in season 1, in Div 1. So if Ridwan struggled in it, I'm sure everyone will struggle in it. Looks like we've got a bit of a battle pack forming back here. Looks all pretty even and pretty close so far. Great start from these guys. A lot better than bloody Div 1. The front guys are just shoot off and gone, and yeah, we're all bloody having a nap. Oh, Alba getting a bit sideways there. Everyone's just settled in for the long haul, which is a smart thing to do. Looks like we've got Stiffy Bone getting racy here in his Porsche. Porsche is always strong in the rain, not so much of an advantage in this level of rain, but once it gets really wet, the Porsches will come into their own. Same with Ferrari. Definitely a Ricciardo-like move there from Unchained Chief to take the lead on T1. But it's nice to see everyone's keeping a level head at the moment. There's a long way to go and the worst of the conditions is yet to come. About 3 or 4 minutes away, I reckon, going off practice. But this is where the action is at the moment, and we've got Tristan Mason getting all sorts of sideways out of the last corner there. And it would make sense as he doesn't have TC on. Most of the others are all running TC at this stage. But yes, Tristan Mason filling in for Tube tonight. He's just lost a couple of places there coming out of the last corner. And now we have a yellow flag, and that is Dino. Oh no, Dino's had a moment as well. So it's all starting to happen now after a quiet 2 first laps, and Tristan has had a bit of a moment. Dino's had a moment as well in the Lexus. So Dino was up in 3rd, and he finds himself down in 11th now. What else is going on at the front? So Chief has got a 1.7 second lead. Dr. Nobody has come from nowhere in the last lap or so to be right up behind Beto for second. Alba's holding steady. in fourth. He's got rid of that penalty and he's stayed in fourth. Renegade as well, holding steady in fifth. Stiffy has got past Piston. So Piston's just cruising at the moment, holding steady. But that is not what we want to see, because Dino is currently P2 in the championship, only a couple of points off Chief, and he does not want to be back down there in 10th at this stage with Chief up in P1. So hopefully we can have an epic comeback here from Dino once it starts pelting down. Yes, I'm sure that Renegade will be letting the Porsche go. That, as I was saying before, the Porsche doesn't have as much of an advantage in these conditions, but once it starts pissing down, the Porsche will come into its own for sure. Oh no, what's happened to Alba? So Alba's also had a moment there, looking like in T1 as well, same as Dino. So that's 2 laps in a row that we've had chaos into T1. Last lap it was Dino, and now it's Alba. So T1 causing absolute problems here for these guys at the moment. And that's before the heavy rain has even kicked in. So they're just handing it to these guys at the front at the moment. Dino, who was third, and Alba, who were fourth, both have made mistakes into T1. Dropped down the field. But the top 3 are looking solid and are starting to pull away from 4th beyond. Chief just holding that gap around 1.7 seconds at the moment, but I imagine once it starts raining he will probably pull that gap even more, because from my own experience anyway, that Super is not great in heavy rain. But that rain needs to come soon, because everyone's inters are starting to get killed, especially Beats. Look at that, he's given them a beating compared to Chief. Those tyres are not looking good at all. Same with Nobody, not too much better with Beat. Renegade as well. So I mean, Chief, not only is he out in the lead, but his tyres are looking beautiful. And here we go, guys. Yeah, we're caught at about the 6 or 7 minute mark, and here comes the rain. So this is where things are going to get really, really spicy. It does absolute bucket down for about a good 7-8 minutes or so. It's just heavy rain and that track gets wet. I wish I could cycle through the bloody selections there to look at the radar, but I can't. Oh man, Beat has killed his tyres. This is not looking good for him. He may even have to come in once it starts raining heavy and put some wets on or some fresh inters, because that is going to be hard work. So Chief, yeah, look at the difference now. He's already pulled 2 seconds on this lap alone, just from the state of Beat's tyres. He has given them a beating. So now we will see the boys from the men as the rain starts coming down and the track starts getting wet. So is Beat going to come in? He is. The inters should last for this stage, but Beat, unfortunately, I'm not sure how he's done it, but he's absolutely caned his fronts on that set. These guys in the front, yeah, they'll be able to survive in this patch. With this rain, it will be a little bit more difficult with the wear on it, but they should be alright. But I mean, times is gonna tell, because it does get wet already. Look at it. Chief struggling, going off the track. Stiffy, he's coming into the Onis in the Porsche. Rain's coming down, all those Porsches and those Ferraris should be starting to come through the field. But everyone is at pretty similar levels of wear. Yeah, everyone's pretty much at the same except for Beat, really. And Dino. Dino's caned his fronts as well. Beat did go wets. That will serve him well for a little period, but towards the end of the race as it dries up, that will not go well for him at all. So it'll be interesting to see how that's going to play out for him. Takax has stayed out. Alba has also pitted for wets. And it looks like Bondi has had a bit of a run-in with the wall or someone else there with some front damage. But yeah, Chief, look at him go now. He's pulled that margin out to 6.4. It's dropping, so he's obviously had a little bit of a moment there out of the last corner. But yeah, he's pulled that lead out and it looks like he's in the pits. Interesting. So this is what happens, guys, when the weather changes, when the conditions change, it just throws a spanner into the works. So we've got Chief in, we've got Nobody in, we've got Piston in. I'm assuming they've got to be putting wets on because this is what happened in the practice. So they got a sneak peek of how things were going to play out for the race in practice, and I think these guys must be chucking on the wets from what they saw. Nope, so Chief's just decided to do his pit stop now and chuck a brand new set of inters on. That's Beat, who's already pitted on the wets. Nobody has gone to the wets. And Piston has gone inters. So we've got Chief pitted for inters, and Nobody and Piston have, and Nobody wets and Piston has gone inters. So this is going to get interesting now. Everyone's gone about things differently. Stiffy's still got heaps of fuel left. No rush for the pit stop, but it'll be interesting to see what his strategy play will be from here. Is he going to just stay on those inters until the end of the race, where you can potentially chuck on the slicks and then refuel then? Or is he going to come into the pits very soon, chuck wets on maybe, another fresh pair of inters, which would be my call. If I was going to pit now, I'd just chuck on another set of inters, because wets will be a nightmare at the end of the race. But they are crawling around there now. She's getting wet. No, here comes Stiffy. So another one is coming in. What about Renegade? Renegade is coming in as well. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys chuck on, because this will determine how this race plays out. So Heartstopper stays out, Tristan stays out, Stiffy, Renegade in. Dino has yet to pit. He's trucking on, trying to make up those places that he lost. Crucial period of the race for Dino. Unfortunately had that moment that we didn't see into T1 on lap 3. Dropped right down the field, and he really needs to make a smart strategy call here to try and get himself back up the field. Chief, who has made his compulsory pit stop on the inters, is pretty much set for the remainder of the race now. That is the smart call. The track does dry out decently towards the end of the race, which I think will kill the wets, which Nobody and Beat are on. Renegade also switched to the wets and Stiffy to the inters of the pitters. So we've got a wide variety here of strategies, of tyre strategies from everyone. Alba's wets, Pistons inters, Bondi hasn't pitted yet. I mean, if I was him, I probably would have pitted by now just to get rid of that damage. And Takax has also pitted for fresh inters. And yeah, she's getting a bit hairy out there now. So we've currently got Heartstopper with a 3.3 second lead over Tristan. But Tristan had a moment as well and dropped down the field. So he's done well to claw back up to the back of Heartstopper here. Piston is currently down in 10th. He has made his pit stop, and he did pit for inters, which was the wise decision. So as the race progresses towards the end, I think that is the worst of the rain now, from what I remember. So he should be in a good position towards the end of the race. There are some guys who are on the wets, which will not work out for them as the race wears on. But yep, that's to answer your question, Os. There's Piston in 10th. He's sitting pretty decent. Alba in front of him has pitted but is on the wets. Stiffy's on the inters. It will be hard for Piston to catch Stiffy, especially in that Porsche. Renegade's on wets. Beats on wets. Nobody's on wets, so all those guys will be struggling towards the end of the race. Chief, who is the effective leader, as the front three have not made their compulsory stop yet. So this is currently the race for the lead, with Chiefy currently leading, Nobody in second, and Beat in third. But yep, we've got another, oh there we go, Heartstopper, you legends. Heartstopper's got the weather radar on, which means we can see it as well. So there you go, guys, that's the current weather situation. So the worst of it has now passed through. That last little bit of orangey, yellow, red has passed through. That's the exact same way that it looked in practice, so it's played out exactly the same as it usually does. And it's now going to start drying out from here. So what are we, 16 and a half, 9 laps through, 5 to go. It's all going to just start drying out from here. So those guys on the wets, this is where it gets interesting for them. So I'm just trying to think this through. I don't know how much laps Heartstopper's got of fuel there. He has now run wide. He has run off the track. So our current leader, Heartstopper, has run deep there to T1, which would have cost him, what do we got? 1.5 seconds. Dropping about 1.7 seconds there. Heartstopper's lost. There's been a few moments at the T1 there so far this race. 2 seconds now. Heartstopper's added to the list. But I'm interested to see how these guys play this. So the front three at the moment have yet to pit. They may be just trying to hold on until the track dries and then chuck on these slicks for the last couple of laps or so, which if they can pull it off will be miraculous and will serve them well for the end, with a chance to finish really high. As we look back, this is currently the battle for the lead. Beat is actually catching up in the Supra. Kudos to him. I did not expect him to be doing that well, especially against a Porsche in the Supra. With these weather conditions, that Supra is an absolute dog. But this race is heating up, guys. This is the front three, and Beat isn't, or the front two and the third is not far behind. See how Dino's tyres are going. Yeah, they're a bit shot. He's going to have to make his pit stop soonish. He's definitely staying out this lap. So is Tristan, and so, yep. I think the front three at the moment who haven't stopped, they're definitely going to try and rough it out and put on these slick tyres towards the end. So we have Dino. Dino's coming in. So it'll be interesting to see what tyres he chucks on. It has to be a fresh set of inters because that track is way too wet to chuck on softs at this stage. And unfortunately for Dino, having those worn inters through that wet period has really cost him. He's yet to put in his fuel and he's already down in 10th. So Dino, unfortunately, it's not worked out for him here. Pisto, yeah, very unlucky for Dino. He just hasn't played out. He just worn his inters out too much while the track wasn't too wet at the start of the race, and that really hurts you as the rain starts coming down. But I think Piston will start coming through the field now, being on the inters. He's got Alba 3 seconds in front of him, who's on the wets, which, as you can see there, he's starting to run out onto the wet line, because if he doesn't, those wets will get absolutely annihilated very quickly as the track starts to dry out. Got Stiffy, who's catching right up onto the back of Renegade, who I saw has a penalty there, so Stiffy will, I'd say, get past Renegade down at the back straight, the front straight, when he serves that. And it looks like, yep, so Chief has now pulled out, wow, how has he done that? A 2.6 second gap in one lap from Dr. Nobody. And increasing, 2.9 now. So we've got Tristan, who is coming into the pits for his compulsory stop from second. So it's now only Heartstopper who is yet to pit. And I think he might actually get it for the last lap here. He may be able to... Nah, looking at that track conditions there's still some really wet patches. So unfortunately for the three who did stay out late to see if the track dried out to put slicks on, it's just not going to work out for them, unfortunately. So yeah, these guys are all going to fall well down the field once they make their stop, which we have just seen from Dino. Oh, and Tristan, he has made the very bold call of going on the softs, and in doing so has instantly reaped the rewards of a 3 second penalty and no traction coming out of T1. Yes, that was always going to happen, as you can see in the bottom left there, with the amount of water still on the track. Not too bad right there where he is, but there are still patches on the track where it is wet, and it's going to be an absolute battle to finish the remaining 1 3/4 laps on those tyres. But he's taken the gamble. You get out there, it is not going to end well. Anyway, back to the front with Heartstopper, who has got to pit either this lap or next. Oh no, something's happened to Bondi, and he has had a unfortunate exit from the lobby. Looks like Heartstopper is coming in this lap. I hope to God that he does not follow his KPL teammate and put on the wets. We'll keep an eye on that. So we've got Chief, who is comfortably ahead of Dr. Nobody at the moment with 2 laps to go. It's just an absolute demon in the wet, that Porsche, and obviously Unchained Chief is no slouch himself. Yeah, I think he has had a gutful. It was not going well for him by the looks when we were on him earlier. Had damage and his tyres weren't looking good, and yeah, I mean, it could have been a disconnect. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, things were looking tough there for him. So we've got split here, 5.9 between first and second, 5.4 between second and third. But Beat does drive for CP, the team I also drive for, and he will, I can tell you now, be very chuffed if he can hang on to third. He got his best finish last week of 5th. And so if he can hang on for third, even for 4th, he'll be happy with that. It will still be his best result. But he is on the wets, which are wearing very quickly as the track dries. And he's got a rampant stiffy bone on Inters, which is a much better suited tyre for the current track conditions. So he shouldn't have too hard a task in getting past Beat here. But we'll see how much of a fight Beat puts up. Give them a little escort wide onto the wetter stuff. Oh, he's fighting it. Good man. He's not giving it up easy. And, oh, Stiffy, you dirty dog. Stiffy gives him a little return of serve there and gives him a little bit of a squeeze. But, hey, good hard racing. Nothing wrong there from what I can see. Just good hard racing from these two lads. But to be honest, there's not much Beat can do there. He's on the wet tyres, which are not suited to this at the moment at all. You could probably run softs now with the rain being under the 1/3 bar there. Here's these two, they ain't done yet. Is there going to be a switchback here from Beat? He's going to have to tuck it in really tight. No, he's out on the wet stuff too much. Renegade, and look, we see Piston here. He is making the late run. There was a bit of a mini call there that this would happen, as he would start to catch up to the guys on wets as the track started to dry out. He has passed Alba and he is rapidly catching Renegade, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time with 3/4 of a lap to go to get past Renegade. But as we see, we got Mr. Unchained Chief. He's truly unchained at the moment. He's going to come home for a comfortable victory. Dr. Nobody with an impressive run in that Chev, which is no easy thing in these conditions. Stiffy, who made the right call, chucked on the inters midway through the race, splashed and dashed for fuel, and he's going to come home for a solid third. And here we go. So we do have a photo finish coming in here for the last, for 4th, 5th and 6th. Renegade is right on the back of Beat, and Piston is rapidly catching these two as well. How's this going to play out? So Piston's on the inters, these two in front of him are on the wets. He has tucked it down. He's going to get them both. He absolutely got them both. Well done from Piston. He gets 2 people on the last corner. What a finish for those 3 positions. So Piston 4th, Beat 5th, Renegade 6th. Alba comes home in 7th after his spin early on at T1. Heartstopper also made the decision to go on the softs. It didn't look like it worked out for him as well. Tristan has managed to survive somehow on the softs, even though he's skating around out on the wet stuff. We'll see if he... No, he's just had a bit of a battle there. Thought he might have been able to sneak home for the fastest lap, but you've really just got to stay right on the racing line in these conditions. If you go off just a tiny bit, you're gone ski. And poor old Dino and his beautiful looking PHE Motorsports or PHE Sports car is going to come home in 10th. Unfortunately for him, he was in contention for the championship. I'm sure, I do recall that he has had a pretty good run, so he'll be able to drop this round, but still not ideal for him in the championship, which will make him have to hustle and bustle for the last race tomorrow. And good on Takax, he's hung in there. He's always a bit far off the pace of the rest of the guys, but he hangs in there, he doesn't quit. He sees out the race every time, and he comes home in a solid 11th position. Well done, brother. So there we go, guys. Running through the order again. Chief with the win. And yeah, it's just cut me off, so I can't go through that anyway. Woo! Yeah, boy, check out that replay. It's just, yeah, it's crazy to be going through all that. I've never really commentated a race being deep in the chat before, so that was a new experience. It's hard to keep track of what's going on the track and in the chat at the same time. The math ain't mathin'. The math certainly ain't mathin', but there we go. Unchained Chief, he set the tone early on in the race with the dive down at T1 on lap 1. The gap was left for him and he just took the opportunity and he sent it down there, and he didn't lay a scratch on Beat. It was just picture perfect, absolutely amazing, and he just waltzed off from there. Dr. Nobody had an impressive run. I cannot remember where he started from, something like 7th or 8th, but he had an impressive drive in the Chev to come all the way up to 2nd. No mean feat in that hulky, yeah, let's just leave it at hulky piece of metal. Stiffy with an impressive run in the favoured Porsche. 2 Porsches in the top 3, as you would expect. Very much an MR Porsche track, let alone without the rain, which makes it even stronger. Piston with a solid 4th. He also made some positions up through the race. Beat will be pretty stoked with his 5th place, matching his best result from last week. Do know that he'll be chuffed with that. Renegade, unfortunately, he was another one. He was on the wet, so He was always going to struggle it towards the end of the race there, and Piston made and Stiffy the great call to change onto another set of inters, and they managed to make that count, clawing their way up the field towards the end of the race. Alba, unfortunately, starting from second, had a moment T1 on lap 3 or 4, which dropped him down the field. Heartstopper made the gamble to stay out late on the inters in the hope that it would dry, but unfortunately it didn't dry. Same with Tristan, same thing, and Dino. Dino unfortunately cooked his tyres on that first stint when it wasn't too wet, which is easy to do. Just unfortunately cooked the tyres, had a bit of a mistake into T1 as well on lap 3. But looking at that, he did manage to come out with the fastest lap, which shows he did have the pace. Most certainly had the pace, but as often happens in these wet weather, tricky changing condition races, anything can happen. And Takak's my man. He just, yeah, he always sees the races through. True champion in my eyes. And BC Bond may have had a disconnect, not too sure, but hey, that's how things played out tonight. And I'll also be streaming the finale tomorrow, which is the replay of round 5 of Bathurst, which ends up being the last round, and it will be the championship showdown. So yeah, more than welcome to tune in tomorrow as well, guys. I'll be here, you'll be here, we'll all be square, and yeah, signing out. Adios, boys.